You got
Let me
it.
know when you're ready. Okay. So you would start by, this is a very big, I'm going to go over here. You would start by, where does this start? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to pretend like the apex is here because it's too far, it's too deep.
Great.
Okay.
Would you like some pickups?
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
And they are numb already.
Protect my needle, okay? I'm then going to tie my knot.
Did you explain to her what you're doing?
We are repairing a second-degree laceration on foam, putting it all together, all the
No,
pieces that we've just done.
I meant the person who just gave birth.
I did not. I have consented her before we started the video. Yes, thank you though.
So you're doing the knot, but then what about the double twirl around your needle driver and then the pole?
Well,
That's the
Is that-
instrument
is
tie.
that a difference?
We'll do
Yep.
the instrument tie later.
Okay. So there's a difference there.
Yes, there
You can do
are
an
two
instrument
ways
tie
to
or
do it.
10 sets ahead.
Okay, I didn't quite understand that when I was watching. Okay.
So I am locking this because we could do locked or unlocked in the vagina, and I'm going to lock in the vagina just to show you the differences between the two. You would also obviously have gloves on. But this is just to give you an idea about where we're headed, okay?
YOLO.
Okay. When we get to the hymenal ring, which I didn't draw on here, but you'll start to see it on anatomy, you'll see people draw a little line here, you're going to change planes. So right now we've been repairing in this plane, right? We've been going up and down, up and down. We need to repair the perineum. So we're gonna take a small little, they like to use the word bite, and we're just gonna go behind the hymenal ring and come out in the perineum. This is known as a transition stitch, okay? This is unlocked, so you want to be outside of your circle, okay? And so you can see now that now my suture, I'm going to be repairing on this angle. So coming this way, in and out versus up and down.
So
Yeah.
you were sewing with the needle driver in this horizontal plane, and now you're going to be going in this vertical plane.
Okay. So when you practice at home, you might want to take a couple of books and put your foam on top of it so that it is
Right to the
higher
edge.
and bring it right to the edge so that you can more easily access your perineum. Okay.
Sorry. For all you viewers at home.
And I've gotten all
It's okay.
tied up here. You can tell we did not rehearse this. Okay, so now we're gonna do the continuous unlocked, okay? So I'm just gonna go in, and I'm gonna go across and come out on the other side, okay? But I'm staying,
Inside the laceration.
yep, and I'm staying, my needle is staying parallel to the floor. Why am I inside the laceration? What do I need for this suture to moisture, right? So I'm gonna pull through, okay? And I'm gonna do one more. And if there's a lot of tissue here, sometimes you have to take a bite on one side, come out in the middle, and then go back in on the other side. That's okay. And that you're not really gonna get much of a feel for. Remember, this is unlocked, so it's gonna go outside the circle. Okay. Now I've come down to my perineal apex. Can you hold this up for me, Christina, so I can really show them what we're doing? We need to make sure that we put together this right here, okay? This apex. So people call this the perineal apex stitch, the smile stitch, the V stitch. You can call it whatever you want as long as you bring the apex together, okay? I like to make, I already did it, so you just was like, have it. I like to make my needle work for me, and so I put my needle angling downwards because I am going to repair. So I'm going to, sorry, Christina.
No, you're fine.
It's gonna go in on one side and come out just at the apex. Where's my needle?
We're just.
There we go.
Suck it in.
Right at the apex. This is all these are unlocked from here on forward, so you never want to come up inside. So I went
Okay.
from here to the apex, and then I'm going to go from the apex back up to the matching spot on the other side. Does everyone see
Oh,
that?
that's why it's like a smile.
That's why it's like a smile or a V.
That's what I say, smile.
Yeah. Some people just take a little bite, kind of like this at the, oh goodness, kind of like this at the bottom. And don't actually do this V, and that's okay. As long as you're anchoring at the bottom of the parent. So some people just make a little, you'll see that in some of the videos, okay? So we're gonna go in, right where we just came out at the apex and come out up right here, okay?
Does it matter if your threads cross or anything like that?
And then we're gonna zigzag up the perineum. And these are called the subcuticular stitches.
Most fun.
They're the most fun, they're the most beautiful. So you wanna go in now, we're going back and forth, one side then the other. So we're gonna go in now on this side. If we're not sure where we go, we just bring our thread across and we can say, oh, on foam, it's pretty obvious where you're going. Sometimes on a patient, it's not as obvious. So you're gonna put it across and say, oh, okay, I go right there. Okay. And you're gonna go in, and these are just inside the tissue, which is a little bit hard on foam to simulate.
You just went vertical.
I just went right up, yep.
It's right underneath.
It's
the-
just, it's a little, just a little grab, and we go across, we do a little grab, we go across, we do a little grab, back and
Okay.
forth, yep.
And it's called subcuticular because it's
Sub-
just under the top layer of skin.
Just under the layer of skin. It's nice to practice on here, actually, better than the foam.
And with the foam, when you get home, to practice on your foam, just draw like the subcu layer. Mark
With
it.
a marker or something?
Yeah, it's just easier.
The foam on that subcuticular stitch will pull through pretty easily, so
Yeah.
while we've been doing a lot of tension for the other stitches, you just wanna be very gentle on foam.
Yeah. And flush.
Yes, yes.
And then I'm pretty much to the top. So now I need to come back into my vaginal plane,
Such a beautiful.
okay? So what am I gonna do? Same thing. I'm just gonna take a little bite inside the perineum and come outside in the vagina, behind the perineal, behind the hymenal ring, and pull it through. And then I like to just do one more bite in the vagina, and then I tie it off. And you wanna be tying it off back behind the hymenal ring so that it has lots of moisture and it's not bothering the patient. That's reality, right? The patient's phone's gonna be going off. Okay,
So she locked her, or she
put the
kept
stitches
her
tight.
needle.
Yep. You could cut your needle off. Some people cut their needle off at this point. And I'm just gonna tie.
So Erin, you're tying just in the vagina,
Yeah.
not
And
in
now
the-
when you tie this double part, you treat it like one.
Looks like a bunny ear.
Yeah, you just treat it as one. And that's the whole thing. So that's putting it all together.
I'm gonna use this as my video.
That's not-
That's the whole